Ethan joining the show now. He's been on our show a couple of times before. He's coming to Foxwoods February 19th. We're joined by Jim Norton. What's up, Jim?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
We're doing good. We've been doing this like archive alumni series thing where we're bringing back a lot of people from our past here at I-95. And I've been thinking a lot about radio recently and the business that we're in. And, you know, I was a big fan of Howard growing up, then Opie and Anthony, and then, of course, you as the third mic. And then it was you and Opie for a while. I know that you're with Sam now, but I wanted to ask you, because I listened to it on YouTube, the long and painful breakup between you and Opie. It was like, was he depressed? Like, what was that like going through on the air?
You know, it's like any other, you guys know, a radio thing is like a marriage or like a family situation. And there's times where you just, whatever your relationship is with your spouse or your partner, just goes bad. Like, I will point the finger at him, and he will point the finger at me. So I figure I was absolutely partially to blame for it. But it sucks when it was happening because you know that, like, your professional relationship is deteriorating, and also you know that your friendship is deteriorating or is long gone. So it sucks. I mean, I'm glad it's done, but you know, it was just two people that didn't want to work together anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like we did something horrible personally to each other. We just didn't like working together anymore.
Yeah. And what, you know, I'm curious about the listening audience at that point, because every time you tried to get things back on track and do the show, he would bring up a personal situation again, and it got really depressed. What was the audience's reaction at that point? I'm sure some of them enjoyed it in the beginning because it's high drama, it's real. But at what point did they say enough already?
You know, I don't know, because I don't really. I stopped a long time ago really doing a whole lot of at-mention checks and stuff like that, because I find that if I listen too much to the audience, then I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm constantly worrying about if they're liking it, and then I can't perform well, if that makes sense. So I don't know where they kind of tapped out on it, or if they just. Some of them still want the drama. Like, some of them still love the fact. And they want us to go after each other. Because it is, look, I love watching drama too. Like, there's nothing I enjoy more than a good radio fight. So I get why people like it. But I don't know exactly what point they tapped out of it or what point that they wanted more of it. I would love to tell you, but I just don't know.
Well, that's good that you trust yourself enough. That's difficult. You know, sometimes people will buckle to the audience. Radio, people think that radio and stand-up comedy are the same. They're very different. And I've done stand-up. I mean, what I didn't like about stand-up was the audience would react in such a way sometimes I would second guess myself and change it on the fly, which you cannot do. You know, radio,
right.
Radio, you just go.
Okay. You just go. And this time, I mean, again, look, of course I do care about what people think because I'm a quote-unquote entertainer. Like, I really do care. But, like, last night at the comedy show, I was bombing. Like, I was really having a bad set. And I didn't want to bail on the material I was working on because it's new. So I'm like, they're telling me that they're not liking it, but I want to get through it and work on it because it's something I want to work properly. So I wound up just plowing through it and doing it. I mean, sometimes you just kind of have to do what you're doing regardless of what the audience thinks.
That's cool. Jim Norton joining the show. He's coming to Foxwoods February 19th. This is sort of like an obligatory question at this point. I'm sure you're getting asked a lot about Joe Rogan. People keep asking me about it, and I'm like, look, he's got his own audience. I'm not him. I do a different show. But it's a dangerous time to do what we do when people are going back to the past to dig up whatever they can on you. Have you found that to be your experience?
Yes, and before I even answer that, can I tell you how stupid I am and how bad I am at plugging things? I'm plugging Foxwoods, and I'm telling you a story about how I don't care what the audience thinks, and I bombed last night. I suck, and I'm taking along with my radio partners. What a jerk. Joe Rogan, you know, it's funny, man. It's a sign of success and that you're doing really great when they try to consistently pull you off wherever you are. I know Joe. I mean, I'm very biased because I love Joe. We've been friends for almost 30 years, and I respect him a lot. I think he's a really smart guy. I know he's absolutely not a racist. Like, it's not even an option for me. I know he's not because I know him well. So yeah, people just try to wreck you and take you down because they don't like what you're saying. You guys know how it is. There's never anything real behind it. It's, we don't like what you're saying, so they call it misinformation. But meanwhile, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, they all get things wrong all the time, and no one's trying to shut them up.
Yeah, it's a razor's edge, right? To do this at any level of success, you've got to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable means that you're going to be successful at it, but you're also going to talk like a real person, and that gets you in trouble.
Yes, and the problem is, like I'm a comic, and I do radio. You guys do radio. It's not my job to educate people. Like, Joe just does a compelling show. It's not his job to educate you. He's just having conversations. So if you're a person that doesn't go to a doctor, but you listen to a podcast for your medical advice, you're stupid. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care how good a shape you're in. That's not who I'm going to for my advice. Hey, you know karate. What do you think I should do about my prostate? No, dummy, go to your doctor.
Yeah, we're getting it right. We're getting it right now from all angles. We're speculating about this criminal that was wandering around somebody's backyard in the local area. We're coming up with all these different rumors and saying all these different things. You can't believe how much mail we're getting and warnings that we're not being journalists. No one has said we're journalists.
We're not journalists.
You're not journalists. That's the beauty of it. We're not. You know, they hold comedians, radio guys, and podcasters to journalist style level integrity. The only people they don't hold to that level are journalists. Like, they can get it wrong as many times as they want, and no one punishes them.
Yeah, I never
the whole
thought
thing
of
is
it.
just nuts, dude.
It's absolutely true. Yeah. So here's what I got to thinking. I was wondering about this. You know, before an interview, you go on to check the internet to see if anything recent has happened with the person that you're interviewing to make sure you're not missing something big. And all these articles came up about you, you know, and it got me to thinking right away, how small, don't take this as an insult, but how small a town or city do you have to be in to make the front page news? You know,
it's really difficult because I'm not first of all, I never Google myself. I truly never Google myself because I find that I get bogged down in wondering what people are thinking about me. So to make the front page, I would have to probably commit a homicide because that's the one advantage to having achieved mediocrity is there's not enough. I'm not famous enough to really get clicks. And I've also been a vulgar, offensive comedian for 30 years. And I was on the Opie and Anthony show for a total of about 14 years. And I've said there's no interest in catching me because I put it all out there and go, hey, look what I've got to say. Like, nobody cares. They only are interested in going after you if they can catch you.
Yeah. And there's a lot of
know that.
I know that. And there's a lot of pressure now from even our company is why don't you do some more TikToks? Because I don't want to dance. That's why.
Yeah.
No interest in dancing.
I post clips because I like posting clips. And I'll put up clips of myself bombing at the Comedy Cellar because to me those are funny and interesting clips. I mean, that's stuff that I'm doing in my act. I'm not going to put my act on Instagram because then nobody will come see it. And Andrew Schultz, who's doing so well on social media, he reached out to me and he goes, "Man, I love what you're doing on social media. It's really funny." He goes, "I don't know if it's going to translate to one ticket sale, but it's really funny to watch." And he's right. I'm putting things that are not helping sell tickets. I'm truly a dummy. But I enjoy putting stuff like that, and I don't really care how people react to it. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah, you did it twice. Here's the worst of what I do, and I bombed last night. Come see me at Foxwoods.
Yes, I'll put up these I have to find clips, but I'll put up these things called killing and dying, where I post the same bit back to back, killing and then bombing, usually on the same night at the Comedy Cellar, like at different around the corner at the Village Underground and the Comedy Cellar. Because to me, that's fun to watch. I like seeing stuff like that. But I don't know if it's going to make the audience want to come see me. I really don't care. I'm 53 years old. I'm finished, and I love what I'm doing.
Hey, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's right. If you love what you're doing, that's it.
I love it, dude. I really am enjoying life. And I hate to say that because it's such a douchebag thing to say. But I feel better now than I have probably in 25 years.
That's awesome.
Well, that's great to hear.
I'm going to throw this out there because we're here. If you ever want me to do the show with you, I'd be happy to do your show with you.
Do you do stand-up?
No, I stopped a long time ago. There's a funny story behind it, too. It's just I hated it. In a couple of words, I hated how depressing a lifestyle for me personally, sitting in a hotel room in Albany and there's a playoff game on in the middle of a snowstorm. I wanted to blow my brains out, trying to get through the day to get to stage.
You know, I really do understand. At times it is very lonely. And I've sat in many hotel rooms and wanted to blow my brains out. But then I come home to my house and I want to do the same thing. So I'm like, I'm going to do it in a hotel if I'm going to make a mess.
Jimmy, we love you, man. Keep it going. And everybody go see Jim Norton at Foxwoods February 19th.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for coming out with us.
I can't wait. Thank you, guys. You guys are great, man. I really appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.